This episode is presented by Perlini Systems.
Try this modern technique on a classic cocktail. I'm Brian Johnson, and in this episode of Better Cocktails at Home, we're doing another episode in our Carbonation series. It's presented by Perlini Systems, and this particular one we're doing a classic Pegu clubs, but we're going to be carbonated, so it's the Carbonated Pegu Club. And it's a really great cocktail, and we're going to kind of explore it right now. Okay, so this is a gin-based cocktail. And for this particular one, I've actually been using Tanqueray's Malacca. Now, this is a gin that was originally created on the market, probably, I believe it was the late 90s, early 2000s, and then it went away. And I think it was just this past year, they brought it back in a limited run. And I really like it. It's not as... Basically, it's not as kind of bold as standard Tanqueray. It's a little bit softer, but I really enjoy it a lot. We're doing 1.5 ounces of this. And add that to our Perlini shaker. Next up is orange curaçao. I'm using Pierre Fran's particular product here. Really nice, I like it a lot. You could also use Cointreau in this cocktail. It's another nice option. These, they're different. Cointreau's a little bit sweeter. Either one's going to work well. We have to play with the ratios a bit. But I'm going to do 1/2 ounce of this. And add that to our shaker. And then we're going to add our citrus. So we're doing 1/2 ounce of lime juice. And we're going to always fresh squeeze, double strain as we do it, because we're not going to be double straining again. And that's all there is to that. And we'll be adding that. And then we're going to do a dash of orange bitters. I'm using Regan's here, so one of my common go-tos. And I'm going to do a dash of Angostura bitters. And add that. So it's a pretty simple cocktail. If you look at the ingredients, it's a sour cocktail because it's got a base spirit, a sweetener, and a sour. And then right now we're going to add our ice to our Perlini shaker. I'm going to add a fair amount. All right. Make sure everything's good and snug. And I like to give it a nice shake before I add the carbonation, just out of habit. Kind of start the chilling process. And now we want to carbonate the entire thing. And now we shake. And you want to let that rest for, a few seconds. And you don't want to double strain this because, as we talked about in other ones, anything that can cause nucleation sites is going to basically ruin the carbonation effect. So if you double strain this, that's just going to form thousands of nucleation sites and really take away from the carbonation. So we don't want to do that. All right, we'll let it settle. All right, and now we just pour it into our cocktail glass. And that's it. Obviously, you're going to get a little bit of arch charge because you're not double straining, but I think the trade-off between having a few ice shards in there versus a carbonation. Having a better effect is worth it. Now this is a cocktail that, it's a sour, as I mentioned. It's from the 1920s, and from British colonial Burma. There's a club there called the Pegu, and this is kind of their drink, the Pegu Club cocktail. And it's a pretty crisp cocktail. I've seen various ratios as far as, you know, how much gin you put in, how much orange curacao. You can play with it a little bit, but I think when you add the carbonation, it also adds a little bit of the carbonic acid to it, so it gives a little more acidity than if you just made a standard one. But the fizz effect is really nice. It's a nice, fun little cocktail. It's a nice classic, putting a kind of modern twist on it. But that's how I make the Carbonated Pegu Club.